In the 50s, for a black man to get a job was extremely difficult. And we've come a long way, we have laws, but let's face it, it's still difficult in arenas where we have to use the laws that they're already on the books to support and to push. By the same token, though, the homosexuals have always been able to get jobs. It's now they choose to come out of the closet, so to speak, and say, I'm homosexual. And I want the same privileges I've always had, but now I want it with special rights.
Blacks are really trying to get equal pay, to be able to live in whatever community they want to live in, to go to better schools, all that. Gays, they already have the jobs, they already have the housing, they already have the schooling. They just want the recognition. They want to legitimize the fact that being homosexual is okay. And so that is altogether a different struggle. You know, we're trying to get what they got. You know, and so it's altogether a different struggle. You know, I remember on this one video we was watching. It started off with Martin Luther King saying, "I have a dream, you know, that one day, you know, I won't be judged by, you know, the color of my skin or by the content of my character." And then it had a gay man. Now he come on. He said that Martin Luther King really meant that one day that gays would not be judged. And I'm like, no way that, you know, King, you know, mean that, you know. And so, you know, they really have gone all out to try to really compare the civil rights movement with the gay movement, but it's just no comparison.
How is it possible that many in the African American community have been tricked into believing that sexual orientation is equal to civil rights?
The reason the homosexual community has targeted the black community is because they know that the black community has gone through a history of discrimination.
If people try to tie the homosexual struggle with the struggles of African Americans, and if anyone starts to just think about it being the same, just stop and think about the real struggles that took place for African Americans. Not just, don't go back to the 60s, go past the 60s, go back to the 30s and the 20s and the 1800s when African Americans really suffered, really paid the price that they paid being dehumanized.
First of all, the gay and lesbian community is promoting a sex agenda. That's what this is all about. It is about sex and more sex. It has nothing to do with your skin color, race, housing, equal opportunity. It has something to do, and really what it's really all about, it's about advanced sex and more sex. This is a sexual agenda, a sexual revolution that is trying to use strategies to attach on to the civil rights agenda in order to expand their sexual agenda.
Many citizens have spoken out, but have local officials heard their concerns? Do we really need special laws for sexual orientation?
We voted you in. You were voted in to protect the interests of your citizens, to protect the property, to make legislation that would be in the best interests of the citizens. How can you do something like that without considering the public?
My advice to somebody who's running for office in a community, or who's an elected official where they're trying to pass a gay rights ordinance, my advice is don't assume that those who have the loudest voices speak for the majority of the people, because they don't. In our city, when the Human Rights Ordinance passed, you would have thought that everyone in the city supported it based on the incredible outcry by the activists that showed up at our council meetings every week. But that just isn't the case. The vast majority of citizens out there do not believe in giving special rights to someone based on their sexual orientation.
I'm not in agreement with special rights, actually, for any group. I think that if we are careful to make sure that everybody's human rights and civil rights are protected, and there's no need for any of this special legislation.
There certainly isn't any constitutional requirement that any elected official or any legislative body enact such laws. So the only reason that these types of laws are being enacted is due to special interest lobbying by homosexual activists.
The gays and lesbians enjoy protections under our current civil rights laws. For example, if you're a female and you're discriminated against, you have a legitimate grievance. If you're a male and you're discriminated against because you're a male, you have a legitimate grievance. If you're white, or if you're black, if you have a disability, or your family status in some states, or your age in some states, you enjoy the same protections under the civil rights laws as anybody else, whether you're gay or straight.
What we ask is this question, very simple question that everyone should ask when they study this issue. Homosexual activists, which one of the Bill of Rights does not include them? Which laws that are passed at the federal level does not include them? Which law in the state in which they live does not include them? Which ordinances at the city or county level does not include them? They are already included into every law. They are already protected. They have the same equal rights that everyone else has. So therefore, any campaign that elevates them, and this is what the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals agreed with us on, any law or any ordinance that elevates them to a special status is indeed special rights. And no one's entitled to special rights. Everyone is entitled to equal rights.
The end seems nowhere in sight as the struggle continues and communities dig in to prepare for battle. What is at stake? A way of life that respects civil rights in those who have been wrongfully oppressed. Or do we want to dilute the 1964 Civil Rights Act by protecting someone's sexual orientation? While it seems clear that we can never compare the past and present suffrage of African Americans to the current fight for special rights for homosexuals, the campaign to shed light on this issue will continue.